cool, you know, and they're all in this booth. But the reality is we're cutting rectangles. So, I mean, that's what I tell people. That's my advantage. I'm selling aerospace grade equipment to the Stone guys. It's like we have a Formula One team, and then we're the NASCAR guys. So I think simple wins. I mean, in you know, the Micra, now even our CNC saws, we're making them easier to use. And some of the Italians are like, dude, what are you making these machines so simple for? Like, why are you dumbing it down? And I'm like, you don't know our market. You guys know the market, and you're kind of answering to it. And obviously, people have their opinions. Everybody likes what they like, but at the same time, it's the process driven versus the specialization.
Has to be simple to scale.
Right.
If the process it needs to be simple. It eliminates your employee issue. If I mean, it's how McDonald's can make French fries, right? Because it's really simple. It's anyone can drop the basket and hit the button.
Right, but that guy's doing one task. You know, he's specializing. That station is specialized to do one task because that's how just industrial revolution, you know, information was like, hey, we need to specialize and kind of divide and conquer. But now you have a labor issue. So my thing is with the hybrid cycle is how much pressure is on your operator to get everything right.
I think no pressure compared.
And see, I've never hybrid cycled because I'm just not that cool. But you know what I mean?
Cool, it's not. I think the pressure from the operator is. I seriously think it's cut in half.
Really?
First of all, he's working at a different pace. When you hybrid cycle, the operator's pace becomes a lot slower. When you cut and you have a 3-axis router, that turnover time becomes key. And you better be good. You better be fast. You better not make a mistake. You got to be trained because you got to be like, I feel like it's a NASCAR race. They're pulling in for a pit stop. Get the pieces off. Get the pieces back on. Don't make a mistake. Hurry up. Get the machine back running.
So a lot of my guys will have, you know, like you're only as good as your worst day in a granite shop, right? And a lot of my guys will see the schedule and understand that they got to cut ahead. How do you do that with the hybrid cycle? One question. And then the second question is, sometimes you don't have all the details. When that slab hits the table, you can cut it, but maybe you don't have the sink yet. You don't know the edge profile yet because customers don't get back to you, or they don't answer, or the builder doesn't know what sinks he's going to put in this multi-unit. And in a traditional setup, you can cut 50 units and put them on the carts while you're waiting for that stuff.
I don't want to talk T-Rex. I want to talk process, right? But
that is process.
Question,
that is process.
If that wouldn't be true hybrid, wouldn't work. I mean, you can't put a whole job down and edge it if you don't know the edge, right? So hybrid process wouldn't work in that situation. I would say you're going to go to a traditional. You're just going to take longer to do that same job.
So it just doesn't hit the saw. It just doesn't hit the.
My suggestion would be, don't start till you have the edge and sink. But let's just say you didn't have anything to do. You just locked to a traditional process in that case. Hybrid cycle is too fast. Hybrid cycle is too fast to say we're going to start this job without the information. You're going to need the information too fast.
Sounds like you need to talk to the front office.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I'm saying.
What the hybrid cycle does, what the hybrid cycle does is that it exposes your weakness in the front office.
Yeah, you have to get
it exposes because you gotta have all the information.
Yeah.
What you're gonna cut that day, you're gonna finish all the time.
Here's my argument. Here's my argument. You got the same job, right? And you can hybrid it, or you can traditional fabrication. Without a shadow of a doubt, hybrid's going to be faster, less manpower, easier. If you understand the process, that's a no-brainer. The question is all the other answers or questions, you know, like the one you just made. Well, what if you don't have to see? Well, you're not running efficient anyway. If you have your paperwork out in the shop with half the information. right? So that's where a good quarterback comes in. You gotta have a good shop manager to make the call and determine, we're gonna cut the job, are we gonna not, are we gonna move it over here, are we gonna move it over there, are you gonna cut it, you're gonna edge it, we're gonna throw it through the line polisher, we're gonna put it on the micro, we're gonna put it on the.
And that's what that's what I'm saying is your process is exposing some things that I don't touch with the equipment that I'm putting in shops because I'm focusing on the production, which I don't think is a bad thing to have people get their shit together. But I don't have a Kaplan Consulting because I think that's what's really helping you guys is you're seeing where the people are unorganized and need to make some business changes. But I can't command that information or tell them, hey, you got to get your shit together in the office because I'm a machine guy that I'm trying to solve a problem, with the path of least resistance in the footprint that's available without taking all their machines out.
Yeah.
No.
You want to see if somebody has any questions?
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions?
Anybody have any questions?
Does anybody have any questions? Anybody have questions?
You gotta put the.
Hey,
you gotta
William,
put the
let him
microphone
answer.
to the now.
Good one. Great one. Okay, so
And put it
we deal with
closer.
a lot of exotic stones.
Put it closer, Lily. Yeah.
Don't be shy.
Okay, we deal with a lot of exotic stones, Taj Mahals, crystal hollows, Mount Blanc, quartzites, and whatnot. Have you guys seen with this setup to where the edges of your cutting aren't supported underneath? Have you seen it because it cuts your slabs are face down?
So that's an amazing question.
Well, have you guys seen a lot of blowouts and chipping to your pieces because it's cutting upside down, right? So is it blowing that face out a lot?
Great
Or
question.
what do you see?
So that's a loaded question, right? So there's different scenarios there.
Sound like you're on life support.
Luke, I am your father.
That's it.
So when you're doing when you have miters, aprons, for example, because then you have breakage, right? Breakage is less because you're supported at a perfect level on the quartz blocks. Blow up on the bottom, it's the same as you have blow up on the top of the quartzite. Now, everything depends as well as blade speed. Are your blades dressed? Your blade has to be perfectly dressed when you're doing quartzite upside down. But you can't obtain a smooth, perfect cut. And we actually got questioned on this because we have a lot of videos that's quartz. And everybody was saying, yeah, anybody can do quartz. Quartz is upside down. But what about marble? What about quartzite? So I have here integrated mitered sinks upside down. You can see the cut quality. We specifically filmed the cut quality on integrated mitered marble sinks and Taj Mahal. And you can see the quality here in the video of marble. This is quartz. That's not it.
While who's looking that up, Benji, I'm gonna always be honest with everybody when I talk to about hybrid cycle. Look, everything isn't best hybrid. Not every job isn't always best hybrid, right? But if you can hybrid it, it's way better to hybrid than not. That's
I,
kind of
I like that. I like that
Upside
that
down,
statement
we cut
because
miter.
that's what everybody's thinking. They're like, there's no way
they
that
find this
if
one
I'm
job and say, well,
right.
you can't do. Okay, well, but just try it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm not telling you.
But
hybrid every
in the
single
same
job.
in the same breath, if you only have a double table Poseidon, and then that decision that day is to not hybrid, what's going on with the rest of your production? Because I'll tell the same story I did yesterday. The guy with the bridge saw and the two routers. It's an owner operator. So obviously he's working hard because he cares about the business, and he can cut ahead, get the routers routing, and then the next day he's got 3 spindles rolling, even if there's a quartzite slab parked on the saw because it's cutting real hard. He doesn't have a new blade. It's not that dressed. So there's a lot of there's a lot of things that by having a traditional fabrication, example, let's say your head is slightly out and you're cutting rectangles. If your head is slightly out on the T-Rex, which is a machine, they break, that happens, calibration happens. Now you're transferring that into your tools versus in a traditional setup, if your head is slightly out, the router will clean it up, right?
Yeah.
So that's where, and that's what I'm saying is if you're an owner operator, you give a shit and you check stuff. But if you're just an operator and then now you've gotten kind of, I don't want to say lazy, you've kind of got easy street with the hybrid cycle, you might not even think about sweeping your table because let's be honest, yes, cutting upside down, your zero is here. I like that concept. The miters, the zero is here, but aren't we just moving the potential issues from the top to the bottom when you've got cup maintenance that maybe someone's not checking, you're not checking the sweep of the table. I know you guys were using quartz, which now you're using marble or granite, right? Because there's less. So I mean, think about the day the guy figures out that his table has been bowing and he just did 400 square feet hybrid cycle and it's kind of all fucked. You know, it's like that. Those are bad days where when it's split up in a traditional process, you've got more quality control that you can check. Hey, what's going on? What's coming off the saw? What's going on with the saw? You know what, fuck it. Throw it on the CNC. Let that blade cut because we've got the fourth axis situation. So I think you've got a little bit more flexibility. And like you said, like not every job needs to be hybrid. But that's you know, that's where I'm gonna stand because it's
Yeah, good.
I don't.
So sorry guys, we got the B team. I'm just gonna fill in for my partner Joe. So the one thing that we don't talk about, we love the hybrid cycle. We love the invention of a new way of processing stone. And that is important and that's fun to talk about, and that's what we're all talking about here. But what is not talked about and maybe misunderstood is that the T-Rex is a Swiss Army knife. It's a Swiss Army knife of machines. So you can cut traditional and you can cut hybrid. You can use it as a router and you can use it as a saw. You can cut on the table and you can cut in the air. So there's all those different things. So when your machine is out of capability, what's that?
leathering.
Leathering. Does it do leathering? I'm just kidding. Yeah, so it does, obviously it does a lot of things. Leathering, engraving, all those fun little things. But let's just talk about where the money maker is, which is getting countertop square footage out the door, right? Cut pieces out the door with as little labor as possible, as little handling as possible. But it's also versatile, so you can work around those situations. So when you say you can have dual processes, I'm saying you can have it all. Maybe if my, god damn, man, this is,
Hello?
how's this? You can have it all. So if you're worried about redundancy, which is a manufacturing concept that you really want to have, if you want to try to have redundancy, you could, and you're worried about all these scenarios, then buy 2 T-Rexes.
Well,
Or have 2 single table T-Rexes
and how much
can
is
get
it,
around
how much
that.
is a T-Rex?
So a T-Rex is less than a CMS print. No, I'm just kidding.
How much is a T-Rex?
So if you look at it,
Ballpark, 400,
so
500.
if you have a dual table T-Rex without, if you want to use a dual table T-Rex without all the, we'll call it accoutrements, if you just go plain, you're going to use it as a table, but when we load up the vacuum pods and put everything all in, a dual table is $479,000.
Wait, that includes the tooling of that?
That includes all the tooling and the vacuum pods and all those, and the
And they
cones
snapped it
and
in
all
your
those
ass,
things.
dude.
You don't have to figure it out.
Buy that when they buy a router? Like if you go buy a router, do you buy all the tooling and vacuum
You-
pods, or is that a separate purchase?
I mean,
What's normal?
if you're smart, you'll bundle it in so you can get the loan all together. But some people will split it up because maybe they still have tools that they're going to use. But John, I like the Swiss Army knife concept because that's what I call our 5-axis maximum. My ideal shop is a 5-axis bridge saw, a 5-axis router, a Micra, and a line machine.